I'm just admitting everybody, and hopefully it is recording. I didn't hear it say recording in progress, so who knows what's going on here.
It
All
is.
right. As I'm letting people in, I'm just going to do a quick intro with Scott. Scott, thank you so much for being here with us to talk about the comp plan stuff. Really appreciate you.
Oh, my pleasure. I'm excited to
Oh,
be here.
there you are.
Yeah, excited to be here. This is super fun.
I know that there's a ton of people that have questions about the changes that are coming up, and I just loved how you made it very simple and easy to understand. And so I'm going to figure out, do I need to allow you to share your screen, or can you do that?
Let me see if I can. I will try. Um, Give me 1 second. How do I switch screen? I think we can do it here. Display settings. Swap. There we go. There we go. Yeah. Sorry, technical difficulty. Sharing. Nope, sharing is not turned on. I need to request. I just sent a request.
Oh,
Let me know
okay.
if that pops up for you.
There you go. Try it again.
Okay, now I'm trying. And
Perfect.
it's sharing. Okay.
Yes.
I can stop sharing if you want to preface and then I can jump in later, but it's at least working.
Yep. No, it's great. This is wonderful. So we're just going to get started. I kind of did a little intro in the post, so people that are on this call should know what this is about.
Perfect. All right. You want me to dive right in then?
Yes, please. Thank
Hey,
you.
perfect. Well, first and foremost, thank you so much for letting me be here with you. The most fun that I've had stepping into this new role has been these kinds of meetings. I have been a behind the scenes guy for the 6 years that I've been at Young Living. And so now being not so behind the scenes has been really, really fun. I am on the commissions team and am not necessarily a commissions expert, but I'm quickly becoming one. And so I am excited to share some of the changes coming to our compensation plan in April. I hope that many of you have seen this or some form of this training already. If you haven't, that's okay. I'm going to do my best to go through these the enhancements coming high level, but also give time and opportunity to ask questions. I don't know, Melissa, if you want people to ask questions in the chat, if you want people to throw out questions just as we're chatting, what would be the best flow or use of everyone's time?
Why don't we put them in the chat for now? If
Okay,
anybody has questions, throw them in the chat. And then at the end of this, you can go through. If anybody has them, we'll go through.
perfect, perfect. Just yeah, throw them in the chat, but then don't let me forget them at the end. So if you've
Okay.
asked something, I'll pause and then we'll just make sure that we answer all your questions. Because really that's the most effective use of this time is you bring your questions and let's answer your questions. So I will go through, like I said, the three big enhancements. There's technically four, the fourth being reactivations, but I actually talk about reactivations throughout all three of the other enhancements that we're going to be addressing. And so if you've seen other slides that have been published, you may notice that there's four, the fourth again being reactivations and how that now plays into what we're going to be talking about today. So let's dive right in. Anytime we talk compensation, we always want to preface with our statement of typical earnings or our income disclosure statement, depending on where you're at in the globe, which document will apply to you. Super, super important documents. Please read and be familiar with these. You can find them on our website. Great at just setting expectations and making sure everybody's understanding baselines and understanding earning opportunities at different ranks. So I won't belabor that point too much. Um, Before we dive into what's changing, let's ask the question why? Why are we making these changes? Right? The compensation plan that we've had for a long time has been in effect for years. And so if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Well, there are a couple things that we think we can tweak. We're not necessarily making huge revolutionary changes. We want to make enhancements to the plan that level up certain aspects and make this better. And in my opinion, I think that these are. I hope that as we talk through them, you see that these are enhancements. The first reason for why we're doing these enhancements, though, is we want to put more money into the hands of people that are building, particularly new builders, right? New, excited members that maybe star, senior star, executive, people that are just starting in that brand partner journey. We want to help reward and excite and retain them, show them that there is an opportunity for growth and an opportunity to build a business with Young Living. We want to empower foundational ranks. We're going to talk a little bit more about who those are and what those foundational ranks are, but we want to empower those ranks. We really want to focus on teams, right? Young Living is a business of teams. Our organizations are so much more than just a business to you. And we want to reward the teams that are growing together, building together. We've made some changes in the past to things like Fast Start, which we'll talk about, that really rewarded one person. And Young Living isn't about rewarding one person. We're about rewarding teams. And so we're going to talk a little bit more about that and how we excite and reward teams that grow together. And then the last thing, we really, really want to align globally. We're a global company and we should have a global compensation plan. It's really difficult if you're growing in different areas to say, okay, well, in this market, Fast Start works like this, but in this market, maybe it pays a different percentage. And to qualify, I have to have, that just gets too complicated. So let's make sure we're all singing off the same sheet of music. Let's all make sure that we have the same rules. That just makes it easier for everybody. So, okay, that's why we're making the changes. Now let's talk about what's coming. The first enhancement that we're excited to talk through is Fast Start. I alluded a minute ago to having different programs across the globe, different markets having different rules. At one point, we had 4 different versions of Fast Start running simultaneously. That's 4 different versions of our comp plan that people had to remember and know and have qualifications for, and it just gets challenging for people to know how to build.
Hey,
And so,
Scott,
yes.
are you sharing your screen? Because if you are, we can't see it.
Wow, let's see. It says I am. What are you seeing?
I just see the grid of people.
A grid of people. Let's see. Let me share a
Oh,
different
Emily
screen.
says she could see it. So I
Okay,
think something's wrong with mine, but if I'm recording this, I'm really hoping.
let me share again and tell me if you can see it now. I stopped
Oh,
sharing. How about now?
I can see it. I can see it. Can everybody else see it?
I'm seeing nods and thumbs ups. Okay,
Yes. Okay.
good.
Whew. All right. Perfect. Sorry about that. Thank you.
No worries. Thank you for calling it out. If anybody has any issues with what they're seeing or if there's weird things going on, please stop me. So, okay. So we talked a little bit about the why. Hopefully the recording captured that. If not, I went through those bullet points a little bit high level. Let me go back one slide just so that it is there in the event that somebody wants to pause the recording. These were the bullet points I just talked through as to why we're making those changes. And then we dove into the first enhancement that's coming, and that is Fast Start. So I mentioned the 4 different versions of Fast Start. We're trying to really align globally, and I think that an aligned global plan really helps us synergize and work together, right? We can build momentum together. So let's talk about what Fast Start actually is and how it works. If you've been with Young Living for a little while, you're probably familiar with Fast Start, at least to some extent. This isn't new. You're probably familiar with how it works. This is an enroller bonus where Young Living wants to celebrate you as the enroller for helping get oils in every home and bringing new people to Young Living. And so we're going to front load as much of the commission as we possibly can to the enroller as our way of saying, hey, thanks, like great work. And so the way that we do that is if you share with somebody and they purchase any of the PV that they purchase in their first 3 months rewards you with Fast Start bonus. And how much of that bonus you earn depends on whether you're the immediate enroller or the level 1 enroller, or if you're the level 2 enroller. And I'll explain what that means here in just a second. If I share with somebody, if I enroll them, I can get 25% on any of the PV that they place in their first 3 months, months 1, 2, and 3. For the purposes of simple math, let's say that I enroll somebody with 100 PV. That 100 PV goes through Fast Start and pays me 25% or $25 as part of the Fast Start bonus, as the level 1 enroller, the person that shared and brought in that new customer or brand partner. My enroller let's say Melissa is my enroller in this case. Melissa would be the level 2 enroller, and she would be able to get 10% or $10 on this 100 PV example. Hopefully that makes sense. Again, if you're familiar with enrollment bonuses and Fast Start, this should be familiar, but I want to share that we're aligning behind this 25% to level 1, 10% for level 2. Okay, that's kind of the math of it. Let's talk qualification. If I want to qualify for this bonus, how do I make sure that I get it? Well, as the level 1 enroller, the only thing that I have to do is enroll. All I have to do is share. I don't have to have personal PV. I don't have to have an order. I don't have to be commissions qualified in any other aspect. If I enroll somebody and they place an order, I can earn 25% on any of the PV that they place in months 1, 2, and 3. The only other maybe added requirement is that I'm a brand partner. If I'm a customer, I can't earn a commission. And so if I'm a brand partner and I enroll somebody, I immediately get that 25% as Fast Start earnings for the level 1. Now, level 2 does have a little bit of a requirement there. In order for them to qualify for that 10%, they need to have 50 PV. Without that 50 PV, we would simply compress that level 2 earnings up to the next qualified brand partner. So maybe we would look up another level until we found that brand partner that had 50 PV, and they would become the qualified level 2 enroller. Hopefully that makes sense. If that's not clear, throw something in the chat and we can go back to that and talk through it a little bit more. But if I want to earn, I can enroll and immediately start to earn as Fast Start, even if I don't personally have any PV as the level 1 enroller. Okay, a couple of other call outs on how this works. In order to, like I said, front load as much of that commission as we possibly can to the enroller to thank them for getting that new enrollment, we do still want to pay other commissions on that new enrollment's orders, but we reduce the commissionable volume by 70%. What does that mean? How does that work? So let's go back to my example of 100 PV. If somebody comes in with 100 PV, level 1's going to get 25% or $25. Level 2 is going to get 10% or $10. But then I still want to pay Unilevel. I still want to pay Generations. I still want to pay any of the other commissions. But instead of paying on that full 100 PV, we reduce it by 70%. It functionally becomes 30 PV. So instead I'm going to pay Unilevel on 30. I'm going to pay Generations on 30. You're still going to get the full 100 PV for qualification purposes, for leg maintenance, leg OGV, that all still totally counts. PGV, that all still counts. But for the purposes of how commissions are calculated, we reduce that. So again, we can put as much money as we can towards the enroller and the level 2 enroller as our way of saying, hey, thanks for sharing. Thanks for helping grow Young Living, grow your team, and get oils in every home. So that's what that reduction of 30% means, and how that works. And again, that's on any of the PV that's placed in that first months 1, 2, and 3. There is an exception to that though, and that is the Fast Start bonus has a cap, a limit, where we'll pay Fast Start on up to 1,000 PV per enrollment per month. So if I enroll somebody and they place 1,000 PV, I would get 25% or $250 in Fast Start. But what if they place 1,200 PV? What if they place 1,500 PV? That's a lot of PV, but it can and does happen. And so we would take 1,000 of that PV, goes through Fast Start, pays the $250 to level 1, $100 to level 2, 25 and 10%. Then we're going to reduce that 1,000 PV by 70% for the purposes of Unilevel and other calculations. Anything above that 1,000 PV is unreduced. So again, if it was 1,200 PV, you would have 200 additional PV that would pay full Unilevel, unreduced, full Generations, unreduced. It's kind of giving you the best of both worlds, right? Really front loading Fast Start as much as we can, giving you that full bonus, but then also giving you the full earnings on anything placed above that 1,000 PV. That was a lot of math jargon. I hope that kind of makes sense and how it flows and how it works. We can talk through that a little bit more if there's questions, but that's kind of how the cap works and how the 30% reduction works. Again, that cap is per enrollment per month. So if I have multiple enrollments, all of which who are placing 1,000 PV, I can earn $250 on each of them. I just can't earn more than that $250 on each of them. So, okay, hope that's clear. The last thing, and this is where I mentioned we're kind of sprinkling this throughout all of the updates we're talking about, is we're changing. If you've seen our updated policies and procedures, we're changing what it means to be a reactivated member. In the past, you could earn Fast Start if you reactivated somebody, but it required that that person was inactive for a really long time, like 12 months no order, and then an additional 24 to 36 months of no orders. Like they have not ordered for a really long time. We're removing that really long time requirement and saying if somebody has gone inactive due to a period of 12 months of no orders, right? Our process actually looks and says, okay, you haven't ordered in 12 months. So in the 13th month is when we actually inactivate them. So when you're looking at our documentation, you'll see it actually says 13 months because again, that 12-month window, then the next month is when they get moved to inactive. But if somebody hasn't ordered in 13 months and you reactivate them, we're functionally treating them as a brand new person. You would get Fast Start for them. So again, Fast Start can and will be paid April 1st forward on reactivated members, so long as they've been inactive for that period of 13 months. What if somebody calls into member services, they place an order and they say, you know what, this isn't for me. I'd like to go ahead and terminate my account. And they do that within 30 days. They would not be eligible for reactivation bonuses until 13 months have gone from their inactive date. Again, we don't want people to call in, oh, I'm done. Oh, wait, no, I'm back. And now all of a sudden the enroller gets that bonus again. So again, reactivations, if it spans that 13-month window, would trigger and be eligible for Fast Start bonuses and any other enrollment bonuses for that matter, like kit bonuses, for example. Okay, that's Fast Start. Super exciting, standardized across the globe. Everyone's now singing from the same sheet of music. And again, you can see how this rewards the team. This isn't just a, hey, we're going to give everything to the enroller, although that's great if you're, just starting out and you're enrolling. This now is helping benefit and reward the enroller, their enroller who was teaching them and coaching them, as well as the team that is, again, celebrating and welcoming that new enrollment or reactivation. Okay, that's Fast Start. The second enhancement that we're making in April is called the Rank Achievement Bonus. Sorry, I don't know if my little message pop-ups are showing on screen. Let me mute those so that you're not seeing them. Maybe you're not seeing them already. Okay. Okay, so rank achievement bonuses. The rank achievement bonuses are an evolution of what will look very similar to if you're familiar with Silverbound. We're taking Silverbound and we're modifying it slightly. Silverbound was a great program to get people excited about progressing through the ranks. But there was some nuance to it. There was some challenge to it. And I think that we can make it simpler. And I think this does exactly that. In my opinion, this is better. And I'm excited to show it with you if you haven't seen it already. But before I jump right into the rank achievement bonus, I do want to call out that there are two pieces of our compensation plan that are being sunset in order for us to pay for this. We're discontinuing two things to introduce and launch this program. The first thing that's being discontinued is Silverbound in all of its varieties. Silverbound 1.0, which was still active in a couple of our Asia markets, and then Silverbound kind of 2.0 that launched quite a while ago that had the maintenance requirements. Both of those are going away so that we can now launch this in its place. The other thing that's going away is the Diamond Leadership Bonus. We're repurposing those funds. We're repurposing that bonus so that we can launch this program and pay it forward to these new foundational ranks that we've identified. I don't want to gloss over the fact that that is a bonus that people were earning that is now going away. And so if you're a diamond or if you know a diamond, thank you. Tell them thank you, because this now allows us to pay this forward to these foundational ranks. And it's not something that we do lightly. So I've talked a lot about what they are. Let's actually look at them and see how this works. Okay, here are the rank achievement bonuses. So starting at the rank of Senior Star, we're excited to now introduce a $100 bonus for the first 3 times that a member hits this rank. Notice I didn't say months, not the first 3 months. This is the first 3 times that you hit Senior Star, you will get, in addition to any other earnings you're already making, $100. For executives, the first 3 times that they hit the rank of executive, in addition to all of their other earnings, they're going to get $150. And silvers, again, in addition to everything else they're earning, Fast Start, Unilevel, at a silver, they're even earning Generations, they're going to get $200 on top of everything else they're already earning, the first 3 times that they achieve one of these ranks. So let's talk about what that means. If I'm a senior star and I achieve the rank of senior star for the very, very first time, I just got $100. What happens if I fall back in rank though the very next month? Maybe I hit senior star during Black Friday because everyone in my organization was super excited and bought a ton of product. Awesome. We want to celebrate you and we'll give you that $100 bonus. But in December, maybe you weren't able to keep that senior star rank. That's okay. Everyone's journey is a little bit different, and we don't want anyone to be penalized for not being able to maintain that rank. As soon as you hit senior star again, whether that's the very next month or a year from now, we want to give you that second bonus, right? These do not have to be consecutive. There's also no penalty if you skip ranks. I've got a bullet point there that says ranks can't be stacked. What does that mean? That means, let's say I go from senior star to silver. I jump right past executive. So does that mean now that I get the $200 for silver and the $150 for executive in the same month? No, we would pay the silver bonus because that's now the rank that you're being paid at. And we would reserve that executive bonus for at any point in the future where your rank was paid executive. You're not disqualified from those earnings. You don't miss them. We just wouldn't pay them in addition to you getting silver, or if you were paid silver from that point forward. So let's say that I hit silver and I maintain silver for 4 months. The first 3 months I would get that $200 bonus, but in month 4 I would not earn the executive bonuses because I'm not being paid as an executive. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so how's it going to actually work in practice? Well, come April, when the program launches, we're going to look at March and we're going to say, what was the highest paid rank you've ever been? Not just in March, but ever. And that's then going to set the baseline. That's going to be where the clock starts for somebody. So let's say that my highest paid rank ever was executive, even if it was maybe like November of last year. Well, come April, if I want to earn a rank achievement bonus, I've got to stretch to the next rank, which in this case would be silver. I wouldn't be eligible for the senior star or executive bonuses because I've already been there, either currently in March or at some point in the past. So that's what sets the baseline is my highest paid rank ever in March. And when I say in March, it's really your highest paid rank March prior. So hopefully that makes sense and kind of helps set expectations on what the baseline is. And then at that point, I have as long as it takes or as long as I need to achieve that next rank. There's no timeline. There's no organizational requirement beyond hit that next rank, you get that next bonus. So, okay. Again, I mentioned that we're going to sprinkle reactivation discussion throughout all of this. Reactivating members are eligible to earn these bonuses. Now, right now, no one has earned the bonuses yet, but let's say that somebody earns the bonus or earns, senior star and executive bonuses, but a year from now they go inactive. Well, if they reactivate, they're eligible to start earning these bonuses again, because when somebody reactivates, they functionally reactivate as a brand new member. They're starting a whole organization over again. And if you, as a reactivating brand partner, want to build another organization and you do successfully achieve one of these ranks again, we want to reward you again for building that organization. So reactivating members can earn these rank achievement bonuses, even if they had achieved one of these ranks during their previous time as an active brand partner. Again, when somebody goes inactive, their achieved rank is functionally reset. And so when they build again, they would be eligible to earn these a second time. So, okay. Hopefully that makes sense on the rank achievement bonuses. Super, super exciting. Again, super simple. Silverbound was great, but there was maintenance requirements and leg requirements and timelines that you had to do it in so many months. And while well-intentioned, I think this is much simpler and much more accommodating to whatever your journey looks like, right? We don't want to dictate that you've got to do it in so many months and have this many legs. And build how it makes sense for you. And when you hit the ranks, we're excited to be there to celebrate with you. So, okay, that's rank achievement bonuses. The third, and what I think most exciting enhancement, is to the generation leadership bonus. Now, the generation leadership bonus is a portion of our plan that has been, we've had this in the compensation plan for years and years and years, and it's not going away, but we are tweaking it slightly, just like we've been tweaking other things slightly to make it better. And I think this makes it better. So let's talk a little bit about how it works, how the math works, and then I'll talk about the enhancements that are coming and why I think they're better. So without really getting too much into the math, every single month, Young Living takes 6.25% of all of our commissionable sales, and we set that aside into a bucket. That bucket is the generation leadership bonus. And how we then divide out that bonus, how we divide out that bucket is based on all leaders and their personal rank and the leaders below them within their paid generations. What does that mean? How does that work? Let me explain it a little differently. So everybody who is silver and above under the old plan, but now executive and above, spoiler alert, they now get to earn shares. And the more shares that you have, the more of that bucket of funds, that pool of funds gets divvied out to you. So if I'm a silver, for example, I would earn 2 shares for myself, as well as shares for any leaders below me following my paid generations. I've got this little table here. I'm not sure if you can see my cursor down in kind of the bottom corner. We call it the generation leadership bonus because it follows the generation payout rules, but it is different than generation earnings. If you qualify for your generation earnings, that's going to get calculated outside of the generation leadership bonus. I'll revisit that in just a second, but I do want to call out that these are different. Generation payouts and generation leadership bonus, while they do both have the term generation in them and follow generation rules, they are different bonuses. So if I'm a silver, again, I'm eligible to be paid on 3 generations. So I'm going to get 2 shares for myself because I'm a silver. Plus, it's going to look through 3 of my paid generations because that's how many generations a silver can earn on. And it's going to look for leaders within those generations. Any leaders that it finds, I'm going to get shares for them as well. So how many shares do I get? Well, as you can see here in this cornucopia, diamonds, crown diamonds, and royal crown diamonds can earn 3 shares for themselves, as well as 3 shares for any diamonds, crown diamonds, and royal crown diamonds within their paid generations. Platinums, golds, and silvers each can get 2 shares for themselves, as well as 2 shares for any silvers, golds, and platinums within their paid generations. What if I'm a platinum that has a diamond in my paid generation? You can earn shares for them as well, but you can't earn a share that exceeds your own personal share. So if I'm a platinum and I have a diamond below me, I can earn shares on this diamond, but instead of earning 3 shares for them, I would only earn 2. Again, we want you to be rewarded for those shares, but you can't be awarded a share that exceeds your own personal share amount. Part of the reason that these shares have been redistributed a little bit, if you're familiar with how it used to work, it used to be 6 shares for a royal crown, 5 for a crown, 4, 3, 2, 1. Part of the reason we've redistributed this a little bit more is it allows for people to earn more shares based on a range of ranks as opposed to, well, it's 6 if you're an RCD and it's only 5 if you're a crown. It's 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, 2, 1. It allows for a little bit more even distribution across these ranks. So again, as a platinum, a gold, or a silver, I can earn shares for leaders above me. I just would earn 2. But then again, I also can now earn shares for executives. I think I failed to mention that when I was talking about the diamonds. Diamonds will earn 3 shares for these ranks, 2 shares for these ranks, and 1 share for any executive within their paid generations. Same rules apply for platinums, golds, and silvers. They would earn shares for themselves as well as shares for any leaders, including executives now. That's in addition to the plan within their paid generations. Now, we've had a couple of questions on how this is going to work. If you know what a generation starts and stops with a leader ranked silver or above. With the addition of executives, we are not changing how generations start and stop. So you would still be paid all the way down to the next generation. And I've got a slide that shows that in a little bit better. But then you would also earn shares for executives sprinkled throughout that generation, in addition to those shares for the other leaders. Want to call out again, executives do not change how generations are defined. They're just now included in the generation payouts. What if I'm an executive? I'm excited to now, one, award shares up the chain, but I want shares for myself too. Executives can now earn a share for themselves. Now, what about executives who have leaders below them? Well, since executives are not yet paid generations, they don't have generation payouts, we're not able to look down within their generations and award them shares for leaders below them yet. We want them to hit silver, and then they would be eligible to earn shares on leaders below them. So executives are only able to earn the 1 share for themselves, but again, they would contribute shares up the tree to any leaders above them with whom they fall in their paid generations. That was a lot of math talk. Let's look at an example. Okay, here is a silver. Now, under the old plan, again, if you remember, it was 654,321 shares. So silvers were the bottom of the cornucopia before, and they would earn 1 share for themselves. And since silvers are paid on 3 generations, we're going to look at and see, here's me. So my first generation goes until I find another member ranked silver and above. So here's the gold. So that starts and stops a new generation. It's going to go down until it finds another silver and above. That starts and stops my next generation. Again, so on and so forth. Okay, so here would be my 4th generation. Silvers earn on 3 generations, though. So I would get 1 share for myself as a silver, 1 share for this gold, because I can't earn a share that exceeds my own, 1 share for this silver, and then even though I have another silver, it's outside of my paid generation, so I would not earn a share on this one. That's the old plan. Under the old plan, this individual would get 3 shares. Under the new plan, I get 2 for myself as a silver, 2 for this gold, 2 for this silver, and 1 for this executive. Those 3 shares just became 7 shares, right? And again, with the generation leadership bonus being a pool-based or a share-based bonus, the more shares I have, the bigger piece of the pie that I get. So this is really, really exciting. This is awesome for silvers, golds, and honestly for all of the ranks, because we're now looking through to reward you for all of the leaders, including executives within your paid generations. So that's awesome. I want to get in on this. I want to earn those shares. I want to earn that bonus. How do I make sure that I get to participate? With this being a leadership bonus, we're now introducing a leadership requirement. To participate in the Generation Leadership Bonus, we're now asking all leaders, executive and above, to enroll or reactivate and have a cumulative total PV of 100 across all of those enrollments or reactivations. I said that confusingly. Let me say that better. If you enroll or reactivate somebody and they have 100 PV, you're in. You're qualified for the month. If you enroll somebody with 50 PV and then you enroll a second person with 50 PV, you're in. You're qualified for the month. If you reactivate somebody and they place 75 PV, but later in that same month they come back and they place 25 more PV, you're in. You're qualified. Again, this is a cumulative total 100 PV across all of your enrollments, reactivations, and any of their orders that they place in that calendar month. If the sum of PV is 100 or more, you're in. You're qualified. You're going to get your shares and you're going to get that bonus. That's the requirement. Now, again, executives, silvers, golds, platinums, all the way to Royal Crown, they can qualify by enrolling, reactivating, and having a cumulative total of 100 PV on those new enrollments or reactivations. Another way to think about it, if you want to tie this back to Fast Start, if you have 100 PV coming to you as level 1 Fast Start, you're in, because that means that you've enrolled or reactivated somebody and that cumulative total is 100 PV. One of the questions that we've gotten a couple times that I want to call out here, what if I use a ShareYL code? What if somebody comes in with 100 PV and they use a ShareYL code? Now that drops it by 10%, it's 90 PV. That wouldn't yet be enough to qualify me. The reason for that is not every market has ShareYL. And sometimes markets are going to run discounts and promos and sales that not everybody across the globe is going to have the same access to. And so we don't want any market, region, or team to have an unfair advantage. And so we're saying across the board, it's got to be 100 PV after sales, discounts, promos, etc. So again, don't lose out because of a ShareWhale promo. ShareWhale is awesome. It's a great way to give people that 10% off discount. But keep in mind that in order to qualify for Generation Leadership Bonus, it does have to be 100 PV after discounts and incentives. Okay, that's one of the ways that individuals can qualify. However, we also realize that at a certain point, individuals at ranks Platinum, Diamond, Crown Diamond, and Royal Crown, etc., their focus may shift a little bit more from what can I personally do to grow my team to how can I help my team grow? How can I help my builders learn more, build more, right? And so we've added an additional option. This is not an additional requirement, it's an additional option. They can, in addition to enrolling, they can still qualify through enrollments or reactivations. They can also host or participate in a Young Living event. And if they do so, that would be enough for them to qualify in that month. Again, this is a monthly bonus, and so the qualifications have to happen each month in order to qualify. So what does that mean? That means for platinums and above, they may also qualify by attending a Young Living event. And I've got a couple of them listed here: glamping, men's camp, convention. This is not an exhaustive list. In fact, it will vary by market or by region, because some regions may have different events that are for their region only. But here's a couple of examples. The other option is they can host or present at a meeting that generates at least 100 PV of sales. Have a meeting in your home, have people over, come talk about products, come talk about building. And if that meeting results in 100 PV of sales, you're qualified. So how do we actually go about registering these events or these meetings? I'll go through this quickly because this may not apply to everybody on the call, but for platinums and above, I do want to make sure that you've seen this. In the VO, there will be a new section under the My Organization tab called the Generation Leadership Bonus section. This is where you would go to log an event or an activity. And again, I'll go through this quickly, but I do want to make sure that you've seen this. If you don't log the event, unfortunately, Young Living has no way of knowing that it happened. So in order for us to give you that bonus, to qualify you, to let you be eligible, you've got to go into the VO and let us know about it. So please, please, please don't miss out. Don't have the meeting and then miss out because you didn't tell us about the meeting. Make sure you log it. So how do we log it? Again, My Organization, Generation Leadership Bonus. Here's one of the sections I've done. This one is the qualifying event. So if I'm going to show, or if I went to an event, if I went to planting, or if I went to men's camp, or if I went to, fill in the blank, how do I actually say, hey, Young Living, I was there? I would go into that Generation Leadership Bonus section under the My Organization, and then I would go to this logging or Young Living qualified event, click this little plus or minus button, which would expand, type in some information. Here's the event that I went to. Here was the dates that I was there, and then check this box. I attended. I'm being honest, right? I was there, I promise. And then enter your name and sign, and you're in. That would qualify you. Well, what if I want to do an in-home meeting? Well, in that case, again, you wouldn't hit the event plus, you would hit the plus minus on this log a personal meeting. And the prompts are very similar, but you'll notice they're a little bit different. When was the meeting? What was the objective of the meeting, right? What were you hoping to accomplish? What were your measures of success? Now, Young Living's not going to dictate what your measures of success need to be. We're not telling you what you need to present on in your meeting or how many people need to be there, although we are interested in the number of attendees. There's no minimum requirement or forced topics. These are your meetings to do what you feel is best for your teams. We're interested to know what you're doing, though, so that we can learn right alongside with you and say, hey, these meetings are really, really effective. And here's what people are looking for. Here's what people are training on. How can we help supplement and support them in these trainings? So again, no requirement on what the objective is, no requirement on number of attendees, but we are interested in knowing them. And then what was the type of meeting? Again, there's a drop down where you can see it was an in-home meeting or a virtual meeting or, a recruiting meeting. There's, again, no requirement. It does not have to be in person. It can be virtual. It can have 2 people. It can have 200 people. The only thing that we require for a personal meeting is that it results in 100 PV of sales. Now, you may be wondering, okay, if I'm hosting a meeting, the last thing I'm worried about right now is making sure that that person that's, here in my home is buying a 100 PV of product, right? I saw that they had their phone out and they were getting ready to press checkout, but then they got a text and they were distracted and then they walked away. And just focus on having a good meeting, right? To the best of your knowledge, did this meeting result in sales, right? We're not asking for an order number. We're not asking for a cust ID, but we do want you to make sure that sales and growth is the focus of your meetings, right? Don't just have a meeting to have a meeting. Have a meeting with the focus of growth. And if the focus of your meeting was growth, and again, to the best of your knowledge, it results in 100 PV of incremental sales, check the box. Now, we may from time to time reach out and say, hey, help us understand where this growth came from, or help us understand this meeting. That's not Young Living calling and saying you're a breach of conduct or anything like that. It's more us saying, help us understand. We want to make sure that these meetings are being used effectively and people aren't taking advantage of this opportunity to qualify. So if you host a meeting and check that box, Young Living does reserve the right to reach out and say, hey, tell us more about the meeting. Tell us about how it resulted in sales. And we hope that no one will take advantage of it. We hope that no one will be dishonest, but in the event that somebody is being dishonest, then we may choose to disqualify them from that bonus going forward or have other consequence or recourse. So Again, I don't want to be doom and gloom on that, but just all to say, be honest in how those are being tracked. Okay, so whether I've enrolled, reactivated, hosted a meeting, attended an event, whatever the qualification might be, where do I go to see if I'm qualified for the month? Again, I don't want to miss out. I want to make sure that I'm getting that full bonus. So in the VO, there are a couple of places where we're going to make sure that you can see that you're qualified. Under that My Organization section, right here at the top, again, I'm not sure if you can see my cursor, there's this Generation Leadership bonus that's going to be added. And it's going to have a red X or a green check that says you're in, or no, still gotta qualify. You'll see that right at the top of the page. On the dashboard summary in the VO, there's a new addition of this section here, GLB, yes, no. You'll have that option to see that you're qualified there as well. And then again, on the rank qualification page, there's a GLB section that now says again, yes or no. So you'll see it in a couple different places. Please check. Please make sure that the work that you're doing is being recognized and that you're getting included in being able to participate in this bonus. We want everyone to participate, and we hope that people will go in here and see that, yep, I'm in, I'm good. Okay, I'm going to get my full shares and my full bonus. Okay, so what does this mean for you? Why are we making these changes, particularly to the Generation Leadership bonus, right? Let's pause for a second and let's think about all of the leaders, executive and above, that are now highly motivated. They've always been motivated, but even more motivated to participate in that Generation Leadership bonus. And how do I participate? By enrolling or reactivating. Think about the 10,000 plus people that are now out enrolling, actively enrolling or reactivating every single month. Think about the power and the momentum that you and your teams can build if every single one of your leaders, executive and above, are excited and trying to enroll every single month, excited and trying to reactivate somebody every single month. Not only are they going to get fast start, because again, we talked about how enrollments and reactivations are going to reward you fast start, but now they're going to qualify for this Generation Leadership bonus. And that's exciting. That's powerful. An army of 10,000 enrollers, 10,000 plus enrollers out going and trying to find more people to share Young Living with, to grow their teams, to grow their business. That's going to help strengthen the foundation of their teams. It's also going to give them opportunities to say, hey, here's what's working for me. Here are the products that I'm using to enroll. Here's what's really resonating with people. What's working for you? Let's learn together. You coach me and I'll coach you, and together we'll get even better, right? Again, you'll see more enrollments and reactivations in your teams. Our teams have taken a hit a little bit over the last couple of years, and it's sad. And we don't want that for anybody. We want everyone to be growing and having, abundance in their teams, but also in their lives. And so enrollments and reactivations are a critical and key way for us to have that growth again. And then, like I said, if we're building and rewarding together as a team, we'll see that positive growth. Okay, so why is this better? We started with this slide, although the header was a little bit different. Why are we changing? Now I pose the same question again. Why is this better? Again, hopefully you've seen that our enhancements are really there to put more money into the hands of those that are just beginning to build, to empower those foundational ranks, to coach them and to help lead them along from senior star to executive to silver and above, right? We really want to reward and focus on the teams that are building together. And again, reward and excite and celebrate with them. And then again, our goal to align globally. The last thing I want to draw your attention to is I want to show how all three of these bonuses work together in a cycle. So if I'm a brand new member and I want to earn, the fastest way for me to earn is to enroll. I start getting fast start. And through that enrollment or reactivation, now I'm earning fast start. As I continue to enroll, my organization is going to start to grow. And if I hit senior star, those enrollments have helped my organization achieve me the rank of senior star and earn my first rank achievement bonus, right? So fast start leads to organization growth leads to rank achievement bonuses. Halfway through those rank achievement bonuses, again, we start at senior star, but then executives get to participate in the Generation Leadership bonus now. How do they qualify every single month? By enrolling or reactivating, which again feeds back into fast start, which is going to again help my organization grow, help this with perpetuation of my team, of my org, and help me constantly be sharing, help my organization be sharing. And so you can see fast start leads to rank advancement leads to rank achievement bonus, I'm now eligible for Generation Leadership bonus at the rank of executive. And how do I qualify? By more enrollments, which leads to faster, and the cycle continues. So super, super exciting. Again, we've talked about how reactivations are sprinkled all throughout that. Hopefully that's an exciting opportunity as well. One final call out to review those income disclosure statements or statements of typical earnings. And I think that's it. I think that's it for me. I don't know how long you wanted me to talk, but I talked for a long time. I hope I left time for questions.
No, this was great. Thank you so much, Scott.
My pleasure.
There was a question in the chat from Wendy. How can we find out our brand partners baseline?
Oh, good question. Yeah. This is a good question for me to track down. In the VO, is there a place that shows highest paid rank ever, or do you have to click through every single month and see what your paid rank is? Because that seems terrible.
I believe that there is a report in the virtual office that you can run for
Okay.
highest paid rank. I wish that it was a little bit easier to,
Yeah.
to get all of this, but yes, you can run highest paid rank. So that you should be able to do that, Wendy,
Okay.
and be
That's
able to
a
figure that
that's a
out.
good question though. Let me see if I can take that back and see if there's a way for us to make that more visible, because that is an important piece to know. And I'm not as familiar with the VO, and so I'm glad to know that there's a report that exists. I would say the other option is to click through each month, but that seems cumbersome, especially if you've been with Young Living for years and years and years. That's a lot of months to click through. So let me see about finding a report that would show baselines.
That's wonderful. Thank you. Um, for those of you that are not really familiar with the Generation Leadership Bonus, it is a significantly amazing bonus because right now we don't have, and every single month the amount per share changes because they take that 6.25% of the overall, and so it will fluctuate from month to month. But when we figure out what the price per share is, then you can kind of go through your organization and have a better idea of what your potential for making would be, which might motivate you to help like achieve those bonuses. Scott, has there been talk at all about what the shares might be?
Yeah, great question. So prior to my role as on the commissions team, I was part of our business intelligence team. So I did a lot of math. And one of the things that I did was modeling what the shares could look like. Without getting into the data science of it all, there's a number of scenarios, right? It's going to change, just like Melissa said, based on how many people qualify. But in all of the scenarios that we've run, we've got a couple of ranges that I think are pretty conservative that I'm happy to share. We've seen share values, if every single person in the organization qualifies, we've seen share values that are on like the closer to like $60 to $75 range. I realize that sounds kind of low, but think about all of the enrollments that would now be in your organization, reactivations that would now be in your organization. So share value might be low, but other earnings would increase because all those people are participating. But if not everybody participates, that share value could go up from $75 to $100, $150. We've even seen it go significantly higher than that. Again, if a lot of people just aren't able to qualify or choose not to qualify. For that reason, if you look at the fine print in the compensation plan, and we don't advertise it, but I'll share it with you, we had to put a cap in it because some of our models showed that some people could earn significantly through this. And so there you'll see a little blurb in the brand partner document agreement that says a monthly generation leadership bonus payout cannot exceed $100,000. We didn't put that in there because we wanted to. We put that in there because that was a real scenario that we saw as we were doing some of these models. Some people were able to earn significantly. Now, that's not a guarantee of what earnings would be, but the share value, I think, is a good conservative range, is between probably 75 and 125, maybe 50 to 150 if we want to give it an even wider range. But I think that 50 is probably a little bit low.
Okay, that's thank you. Debbie asked, does attending a team member's YL class count as an event?
Good question. Good question. So we're allowing two people to qualify, the host of the event and the presenter at the event. And again, in order for those individuals to qualify, both would need to be ranked platinum and above. So if a platinum individual wants to host an event and have someone else present, those two individuals could claim the same meeting, but they would both need to log it in the VO. So what if I'm an executive and I want to attend? Well, here's maybe a little way that you could do this, and I'm not saying this is how you have to do it. I could host a meeting. I could have somebody else present at that meeting, and then we could tell an executive, hey, come to our meeting and bring somebody to enroll. We would love to help you enroll that person. So now that executive qualified because they enrolled, but they did it at my meeting where somebody else hosted. That's 3 people that were able to work together, to collaborate together, to get that 100 PV enrollment, and all 3 of us just qualified. So that's the way that a team can kind of maximize and leverage those meetings to really synergize together. Good question.
And just a reminder, these are bonuses. The regular compensation that you're getting paid is not changing. That's not changing. These are bonuses, like Scott said, to reward the leaders that are enrolling, reactivating, hosting events, attending events, things of that nature. If you've never earned a generation leadership bonus, then this may not affect you per se, but it is exciting because with the changes, you have the potential to earn even more down the road. So this is amazing. There's been some people that have been concerned with the changes that they thought, oh, well, I'm gonna lose all of my paycheck, and this is not affecting the normal compensation plan. This is only for the bonus.
You're spot on. Yeah. Everything that you know about Unilevel, about generations, about all of the other bonuses that we didn't talk about today is not changing. So what you already know and what you're already earning is still very, very much valid. So thank you. Thank you. And really important call out. Thanks. Any other questions from the chat? I see the baseline question, which we talked about. I'm going to get you a better answer on that. We talked about attending an event. What if we missed?
I don't think we missed anything. If anybody else has any questions, do you want to put them in the chat or unmute yourself? If not, then we're good.
Awesome. Awesome.
Does everyone know how to find their amount of global leadership bonus? Does everyone know how to find their amount? Are you asking about the shares that you would earn, Debbie, or what can you clarify your question a little bit, please?
Yeah, I think it's important for people to know how much of their paycheck is generational leadership bonus. And it will motivate you to make sure you do enroll, reactivate if you see that it could be a third of your income. And so I just wanted to make sure on this call, people knew how to find how much of their check is their generation leadership bonus, because it can be significant and it's a real motivator to
Yeah.
get with the plan for.
I agree. Thank you for
Absolutely.
pointing that out.
Let me piggyback one thing on top of that too, is as you're looking at that generation leadership bonus, also look at the generation earnings, because we've had a lot of people confuse the two and say, boy, if I don't get generation leadership bonus, do I also not get generation payouts? Your generation payout is unaffected by any of these changes. That's going to continue whether you participate in the GLB or not. So really, really important call. Thank you, Debbie. Again, know how much that is, but also know that this is different from your generation earnings.
And just to clarify, if you go into the virtual office under my commissions and click on your month, you can then see the breakdown for how you were paid for Fast Start, Unilevel, and Generation Leadership Bonus. And that's what Debbie was saying, is go into your commissions and see if you're getting paid Generation Leadership Bonus, what that looks like, so that you understand the potential of your paycheck being affected or not. Yeah. Was there any other questions? Okay. Well, thank you again so much, Scott, for coming on here and explaining it in such a simple way. I know that we're probably going to go back and rewatch this a few times just to make sure that we get it, but really appreciate you taking time. Thank you.
My pleasure. And if you have other questions, please reach out to Resolutions at Young Living. My team and myself, we monitor that chat. So if you think of something later, that's how to get in touch with us. But it was a pleasure to be with you. Thanks so much for letting me come and participate.
Great. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.